Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to make some Sicilian cookies, more specifically from Palermo, that are called queen cookies, or in Italian Biscotti Regina or Reginelle. And they are really crunchy and delicious, so I really enjoy them and I hope you will too. Let's start with some cold butter, all-purpose flour, a little bit of baking powder, and some sugar. With my hands, I combine all the ingredients together until I get a sandy mixture. And if you've been following me for a while, you probably are familiar with this step called sanding, where butter is mixed with the dry ingredients. I'm going to use orange zest to flavor these cookies, but you can also use lemon zest or mandarin zest. I love the citrus aroma that the orange gives to this biscotti, so I strongly suggest you don't skip this step. Alright, now I make some space in the middle and I cracked in an egg and I add a pinch of salt that will help enhance the flavor of the biscotti. I whisk it up and then I add also a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now back to using my favorite tool, my hands, and I mix the egg in the mixture. Lastly, I pour a little bit of milk to give the dough the perfect level of moisture. You'll notice that now the dough starts to have these bigger pieces that I bring together like this. I work the dough on the counter just enough to create a compact rectangular piece. I cover in saran wrap and I let it rest for about 30 minutes. Awesome! At this point, I cut a piece and I roll it on the counter. You can sprinkle a tiny bit of flour if necessary. That's good. I divide the dough string in pieces. I made them of about 2 inches long, but you can make them a little bit longer or shorter if you prefer. Now I coat the biscotti with sesame seeds, and to make the sesame seeds stick to the dough, I brush them with a little bit of water, and then I roll them into sesame seeds. It's awesome how well water works. It's almost like glue in this case. I set them in a pan with parchment paper, and once they're ready, I bake them in a preheated oven at 350 Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes. The trick to make crunchy cookie is double baking them. Once they're cooled down, put them back in the oven for just a couple of minutes and that will give them an extra crunch. And fun fact, that's why in Italian they're called biscotti, because it means double cooked. Back in the oven for about 15 more minutes. The result is some crunchy and aromatic biscotti. Let them cool down before storing them, and then you can store them for about 2 to 3 weeks in an airtight container in a dry place. I really love the orange flavor that they have. I think those would be perfect with like a cup of tea or some milk, or just as they are. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel for new weekly recipes. Bye guys!